What you doing back here? Mufasa!
Say it again.
Thank you for joining us for another Movie Lingo discussion. I'm Eddie Lingo, and we have the beautiful Iris. And today we are back, guys. It's been a minute, but I always look forward to these when we have these special releases, these big movies that we've all been looking forward to. I know some of the older people probably looking forward to more than the younger people, and then we have people that are Iris's age that are that young that are looking forward to it as well. So this is gonna be a good talk between the old and the young. But today we're talking about.
That's right, because I'm 25 forever. Right, I got you.
Exactly.
Forever.
Exactly.
Forever.
So you're gonna be the voice of the young, and I'll be the voice of the old. Coming to America, we're here to talk about that, and it's available now on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the 5th it dropped, or on the 4th?
Yes, March 5th, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was March 5th.
Dropped. So you can definitely go see it now. If you're a Prime member, it should be free. If you're not a Prime member, it may cost you a little bit, but I think it's definitely worth the money. Let me tell you the plot of Coming to America. Basically, you had to have seen the first one to enjoy most of the jokes in this one. This is not one of those sequels that you can just drop in. I mean, you can, but you won't appreciate it as much unless you've seen the original. And where it picks off is 30 years later. Hakeem, who is played by Eddie Murphy, has had 3 children, but of course, in order to pass on his legacy with their culture, you need to have a son. A son must take over. Only a man can rule. And then he finds out that he has, I don't like the fact they kept calling him a bastard son, but an illegitimate son.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like.
That. But he had an illegitimate son back in Queens from his experience in the first movie trying to find a wife. And he goes back and gives him, and there goes your movie, all kinds of chaos mixing the culture of Zamunda with Queens and just a lot of that classic humor from the first one just taking place in another location. So Iris, tell me what you thought about the movie without giving away too much. Tell me how you felt about it.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so funny, and I love the different like homages that they brought in, to give you a little bit of the first movie. They gave you clips, and I loved how they did that. And I loved how certain characters that weren't there but were at least mentioned.
Yes, definitely. They definitely made a big effort to include everybody.
Yeah, except for like 2 that I was hoping they would have mentioned, but
who was that? Who were you hoping to?
Lisa's ex-boyfriend, Mr. Soul Glow.
Yeah.
I wish they would have at least gave us a little glimpse into that and what happened with the family's company with Soul Glow.
Still doing because nobody has a hairstyle anymore.
Exactly, and the sister, Lisa's sister.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
like I felt like how your daddy moved to Africa, but with Lisa. But where are you?
I forgot.
But there's a picture of her on the mantle when they do like in the palace.
Right when they look through. Yeah, that's cool.
But what happened? It's like she there, but nobody gives a shit. Like.
Yeah, but I loved all the other characters that they brought back. I thought the movie was done pretty well. I laughed out loud a few times. I was actually worried, based on. I know that they picked a top-notch writer, group of writers actually. Barry Blaustein, David Sheffield, and Justin Canu. They had the story, and then the screenplay was done by Kenya Barris, and then Barry Blaustein again, and David Sheffield. So I was like, okay, these guys are good, but I don't know if their jokes will. Like they were great. Some of the shows they're writing for now I don't watch. I'm not gonna lie, So, but back in the days, their humor was just really on point. But that was in a different climate. You can say offensive stuff and then everybody just fall out laughing.
Takes it as a joke and nobody gets all sensitive and bullshit and act. Yeah.
So I was worried that this one was it wasn't gonna hit right. But for me. It did. The story worked. It made sense. I thought there was going to be a twist, but it wasn't. Yeah. I was glad that everything worked out the way it did. And like I said, I laughed out loud twice. And what's her name? She aged very well, which I was surprised. His Eddie Murphy's wife.
Sherry Headley.
That's her name.
Yeah, yes. Sherry Headley.
Yes, I was surprised when I saw her because, I'm not going to lie, I saw her in the TV show about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, oh, life's not been kind. And then I guess I guess that was just the character they wanted. It's just like-
Yeah, you know.
because now I saw her, I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, she's still looking good, you know. Eddie Murphy's
Yeah.
still looking good. Everybody's still looking good.
Mhm.
But it's as far as did you have any issues with the story itself or with any of the acting or actors?
Okay, so I do like how they kept the whole fact that he had a, I don't want to say secret baby mama, but a baby mama he didn't know existed.
Right, because it wasn't a secret. He
You
really
know,
didn't know. He
exactly. He
couldn't.
didn't know. It
He
was
was
kept away from
traumatized.
him, his wife, you know.
Right,
So I don't want to say she's the secret mistress because
right,
that's not what happened. He didn't cheat on her. This is someone prior to him being involved with his wife, you know.
right.
Um, but I don't like how I don't know. I don't want to say I don't like. I feel like because they were trying to keep the movie positive and funny, they didn't keep that whole piece kind of realistic.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because let my man have some secret baby mama and then she coming up into my house
Hmm.
and fucking
And
going
then
in my
wearing your
closet
clothes,
and
yeah.
exactly like bitch. And I'm like, and first of all, you're from motherfucking Queens,
Yeah, so
okay?
you should know
Don't play
better.
with me. You should what?
You should
Oh
know who
no.
you should know who you messing with.
Exactly. And I'm the queen, bitch, I cut you.
Yeah, I was, but maybe 30 years changed. I don't know. You see,
Yeah, but I do like how the baby mama was mad honest. She was like, he could be your daddy. Y'all know I was a hoe,
so
right?
they were
Like,
like,
yeah, I was a
yeah,
hoe.
yeah. She was
You
like,
know, and she was like, I ain't gonna lie, it's the truth. That's who I was. That's
right,
not who I am anymore. But
yeah.
I was a hoe back in the day. And I was like, damn, why they did her like that? Why she gotta be a hoe?
I know.
Why couldn't it be, you know, one moment of indiscretion and, you know, she never did it again? But no, they just may
No,
have to be a hoe.
yeah,
Now, you
but
know, I was a hoe.
her character even said it at the bar, like, you don't have to lie to me about being a prince to get this. You're gonna get it anyway. So she definitely was like, it don't
Yeah,
matter. Let's just go do this.
exactly. Like, she didn't give a crap. Like,
No, she
you don't know
didn't.
what that man got. You just giving up the goodies.
I'm telling you, man. But that was what's
What?
funny about that is how he blocked it out of his mind.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't give a crap how much weed you smoke. She had, in order for you to not remember that situation, she
Hmm.
needs to have given you something way stronger
Right.
than weed.
But he's so pure.
You know,
But that's how they try to play it
I
because he's so
guess he's so
pure.
pure. He was so pure that, you know, like right, right.
So let me tell you, for me, the only thing that bothered me, and I'm assuming it was just based on auditions.
Hmm.
And this is why when I met, and I'm get into a little bit of a spoiler here. I was worried that his son wasn't gonna be his. One, because she openly said she was a hoe, and then number two, both of them are my complexion, and he was light skinned. So
Yeah,
I was like, this is definitely not, and it's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong. They're gonna find
yeah,
something that's not his son. But then they actually
yeah.
stuck to it. So I'm like, okay, so the casting now was a little off, but maybe it was just based on who had the better audition. I don't know. I mean,
To be
sometimes
honest with you, it made more sense for Lisa to be his mama.
right, because they was pretty much close to the same person. Like if you look at his daughters, and you can see the different shades. It makes sense because
Yeah,
some genes
you know,
take over.
he's exactly.
Right, some genes may be stronger with this child than next. But when you see his son and then him and his and the son's mom, I'm like, how is this kid so much lighter than them? And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna force the issue, and I didn't let it ruin the movie for me. I just noticed it, and it was a little
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah. But
I got
what two things that I was super proud of in this movie.
you.
One thing for me, whenever there's a comedy, I love whenever there's a joke that works, and I know a lot of people they don't like to run into the ground, but I do. I like you to keep it coming, keep bringing it back. And I laughed out loud when Wesley Snipes said that you got my sister, for 30 years. She came back,
Hop it up.
still,
Ooh,
yeah, still hopping on one foot and going,
look.
ooh, ooh.
From her
I
monkey curse. He called her, thank you for releasing my sister from her monkey curse.
yes,
Like,
I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, don't tell me, because yeah, she followed his command, and he left to Queens shortly after. He never told her
Yeah.
to stop, and I couldn't stop laughing. And that's, I appreciate that they were making sure that they held on to what worked in the first one, and they brought it back. And then they brought back the night they were at the club, and they showed all the different people trying to get at him. Arsenio Hall playing that huge woman.
Yeah.
I would say woman.
Yeah, that's very
yeah. I'm gonna
fabulous.
tear you apart.
And your friend too. Like,
and then they brought back Peaches. And her twin. They even brought it back in the finale. I was like, stop.
Yeah, when they brought back Sexual Chocolate and Randy Watson. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I was like, yes.
And then it looked like they had such a great time filming it. And it looked like they made the movie for the fans of the first one. They weren't trying to convert or upgrade, or they weren't trying to be lit or whatever for the millennials.
A bleak.
Right. They took everything that made the first one, and they just kept working with it. And that's what I was worried they wouldn't do. And I loved it. I greatly appreciate it. I was glad that Wesley Snipes played General Izzy.
That was good.
He had a whole lot of swag.
He did. He was swagging it up. I was like, okay, get it, Wesley.
I love that. And I know, Hollywood gets crazy when something works. I'm hoping that the numbers work here. But I would like to see another movie where the kids take things, now that he's given, for the first time, his daughter's going to be able to lead as queen whenever she gets married. What kind of changes are going to be made, and what kind of new experience are they going to have as a whole. I don't want it to get like, crazy, like too crazy, like, what's the old Chevy Chase movies with the family adventures? I forgot
I'm sorry.
Chevy Chase in the movies he used to do in the 80s, where they used to go on the road trips and had
Vacation.
Yeah.
Vacation.
I don't want it to be anything ridiculous like that. But I just would
and
like
the brother
to
and
see...
sisters kept changing. Yeah.
Yeah, they kept rotating them. I was like, wait, is that the same movie? Yeah.
Rusty with so many different little boys.
Just something of where she takes the country next and what's the new dilemma.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. And I think this is something that there was still a lot of comedic opportunities. I feel like what's the name from Saturday Night Live? Let me get her name again. That played the baby's mom.
His baby mama.
Yeah, let me get
the baby's mom.
She need,
baby mama.
Baby
Come
mama.
on.
She need more respect because nobody ever
Stop being
remembers
so
her name.
politically correct. Baby's mom.
What's her name?
That is a good question. Let me see if I could bring it up.
Because she's been
her name.
Up
Leslie Jones. Leslie
Jones.
Jones.
I can't believe
that's her name. Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. She has been getting more and more opportunities, and she, in my opinion, she's funny.
She is. She's hilarious.
Right? Sometimes they may play it a little too hood, but I can tell that when she's allowed to just do her thing, that's when she's funniest. Like, did you see the outtake where she said, "What are these black potatoes?" And and what's her name choked up because she wasn't expecting that line. And that's what I knew it. I knew it. I was like, the best ones.
He's like, it's caviar.
Caviar, right?
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing? One thing I have to say that I didn't like about the movie, is that I know Lisa's character, having to be queen for so long, you have to play a certain role and show a certain, sophistication as queen.
Right.
But I'm like, stop being so damn bougie, bitch. You come from Queens.
It took a while.
Like, don't forget your roots.
Right.
And I feel like, when they brought Leslie Jones's character in, even though I know, the whole baby mama and wife thing dynamic is bullshit, but I like how Leslie Jones's character was able to bring back her roots. Like, come on, yes, you're queen, but you're from fucking New York. You're from exactly. Like, don't forget how we used to get loose back in the day. You're queen. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Do you?
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that she brought that character back, because there's moments where you have to be professional. You have to act appropriately. And then there's moments that you're going to be like, yo, let's get it out. You know?
Like when she kicked him out.
Hell yeah.
And he thought about it because first he's like, are you serious? You crazy? Like you kicking me, the king, out of my river? And
He's
she's
like,
like,
"Are you a
yes,
fool?" She's like, "I ain't hopping on no one
right,
foot and barking."
right. And then he thought about it, and then
Like,
he looked at the camera, and he knew he wasn't gonna win that battle.
yeah, hell nah, get the fuck out.
He was like, fuck
Get
it.
out. No. About
See,
to get your ass whooped.
stuff like that is what I'm talking about. Is what I loved about it. I'm seeing a lot of reviews where people are calling it garbage. They call it trash, but
Really? And
I am.
I
I am.
loved it. I enjoyed it.
But the problem I'm thinking is that um, they either made one or two mistakes.
Okay.
Number one mistake, they never saw the first
Yeah,
one.
probably.
Or number two, they hadn't seen it in so long, and they should have probably refreshed before watching it. But they probably thought that they'd seen it enough times that they would remember.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that that's why a lot of the jokes probably just went over their head because there were a lot of jabs, a lot of moments that were just
Yes.
referencing the first one, and I was just laughing to myself like, "Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just
Yeah.
said?" You know?
Exactly. Or you know what? What I think was really really funny though is when his son and the royal hairstylist, Marimbe. That was her
Mhm.
name. I loved her name, Marimbe.
Mhm.
She, they're walking in the garden outside and they're talking about movies and things like that. And he's like, or when they make sequels that nobody asked for.
Yeah,
Like,
but they were standing in one.
exactly. And I'm like, but I thought it was ironic and it was perfect. It was
It
a
was
perfect,
a
perfect
jab.
joke, a
Yeah, but
perfect jab
it
at the
was
movie itself. Even though it was a good sequel. So I feel like people aren't giving it the credit it deserves.
right for
Because it
sure.
was. It was
It
it
was
was
a good sequel.
really good.
I
You
really
know,
enjoyed it.
I did. I really enjoyed it. And the only thing that kind of fucked me up as well was how fast they got from Africa all the way to New York.
Oh yeah, that must be some jet. I'm telling you,
I
because
was like, that must be some damn jet because, from one day to the next, it was like, oh, I'm expecting a wedding in the morning. And all of a sudden, from last night in Africa to this morning in New York City, you got there like this.
just hey, when you got money, who knows?
I was like, well, I mean, is this Wakanda and y'all got a teleportation device we don't know about?
I mean, they probably do. They probably are. They probably are part of the MCU, and we just don't even know.
Probably. You know, they're like Wakanda's our neighboring
Yeah,
neighboring country to us.
the what's his name? Also, it's funny when you said Wakanda. It reminded me of he had even mentioned Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan played the uncle.
Yes.
I'm
And
pretty
he was
sure.
like, I go
Where you from?
Wakanda, whatever the fuck.
He's like, I've been raising this kid. I got to say so.
Yeah.
I feel like when this comes out to a point where people can purchase it directly or get
Yeah.
behind the scenes, we're gonna see so much content between him and Leslie. That is her name, right? Leslie or Lisa?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. I think we're gonna see
Leslie.
so much content between him and Leslie that's just like off script crazy. That's just gonna have us just on the floor.
What?
I know they had a
Yeah,
lot to
'cause-
choose from because that's normally how Tracy Morgan, especially, that's normally how he is on set. He knows what the script is, knows you're there, and then he just flutters some stuff. And then if people can hold a straight face, they'll hold the take. But most times people just be falling out laughing. They're like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?"
Like I did not expect your ass
Right.
to
And
say.
I'm just looking forward to seeing that content because I was feeling the energy
Ooh,
with both
you
of them.
black potato. She a damn fool. This is black potatoes. Like caviar doesn't even look like potatoes. It doesn't even have the consistency of a mashed potato.
That's why what's the name choked in the outtake? Like, oh shit.
It's just black potato. It's
Like, wait,
caviar.
what? Black potato.
She was like, "Wait a minute, that wasn't in the script. What the
Right.
fuck?"
I can't wait to see more from that. But they look like they had a lot of fun filming it. The after party was great, and I could tell, like I said, I don't know, I repeat myself, but it felt like they did the movie for the fans of the first one. They weren't trying to please anybody else. It's like, you appreciate the first one, you're gonna get an expansion of that, and that's it. We don't give a fuck about anybody else's thoughts, and that's how I felt.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And one thing I have to say that I thought was beautiful is how they mentioned Mage Sinclair, Eddie Murphy's mom, because remember she passed away back in the 90s from
Yeah,
cancer.
that's right.
So and I love how they mentioned her, like, yeah, your father was wise, but your mom was the most wisest Zamundin that John Amos said he had ever known.
Right. And that's what was great about
So
him mentioning that because he even admired her in the first one. He thought she was very beautiful and very wise. First, you can tell he was like
yeah, I was
smitten
like,
by her, even though she was the queen, you know. And so for
exactly,
his
better watch out.
character to be the one to mention it, I thought that was perfect. That means people were paying attention
Hmm.
to all of the all the characteristics of the first one, and to have him be the one
Yeah,
to bring it up made perfect sense because he was smitten by her when he first met her.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was
and I
genius.
I love that. It's sad because I think she would have been a most beautiful addition to
Oh
the
yeah,
movie.
for sure,
You
for
know.
sure. And all right, so we're gonna rate this, but before we rate it, I do want to talk about one. I want to ask you one really crazy random question. Okay, um,
Okay.
King Joffrey Joffa's funeral that he was alive for.
And then died in the middle of it. That was stupid.
It was
That
dumb as
was
hell.
fucking
It
stupid.
was dumb as hell, but at least okay, I'll die down it goes. But let me ask you though, if you could
Uh-huh.
actually see how great and epic your funeral would be, and you knew you probably only had like a day or two left, would you ask them to perform it before you passed to see?
Hell nah.
Because he had in Vogue, he had Salt and Pepper, he had Morgan Freeman speaking.
Whatever. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it, but it's basically a celebration of my death.
Well, they always say, don't celebrate my
No.
death, celebrate my life.
Yeah, whatever.
So you
No,
wouldn't do
that
it.
was fucking weird. No, it's creepy to me to be like I'm
I'm
chilling
about
at
to
my own
die.
funeral. I'm about to die in a few minutes, but at least I get to see the first half. Like, no, no, no,
I thought that was
that's
weird
weird.
too. I
No,
was like, I don't
I
think
was
I
like,
could.
that's fucking
I don't
weird.
think I could do it. I was like, but then again, like if I knew that some of my icons were gonna be there, I would like to say I saw them before I
Oh,
die. You know.
I guess, yeah. Morgan Freeman was speaking
I mean,
at
I
my
would love to
funeral.
see Morgan. I would love to
Yay!
meet Morgan Freeman, have him speak at mine. You know. And then there's artists like Sarah Brightman. I love Sarah Brightman, Josh Groban. I would love to meet Josh Groban.
Mhm,
Yeah, and then
mhm.
if we come on the hip hop side, I know people are gonna be mad at me, but I would like to meet Young Buck. He's one of my favorites.
That was random. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, he's
Like
one of my
what?
favorites.
And I was real happy to see Salt and Pepper though. I was like, wow.
Right?
I was like, okay, get it. Um, and it's like and they still got it too. Cause I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, get it.
yeah. They just came off that reality show they had on Lifetime. I don't know if you or Bravo. I don't know if you watched it, but it's kind of hard to watch because they argue a lot.
No, I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, but they
I
they
didn't
do
really
they do
watch
still
it.
got they do still be performing. And then I was
Mhm.
surprised to even see In Vogue out there because
Yes, that blew my mind. I was like, what in Vogue? What
yeah,
what the
right.
fuck?
So the
I
king,
was like, Vogue, Vogue, Vogue.
and so I thought that was cool that the king had iconic people from his day, you know,
Yeah,
before he passed it on, even though that's technically our day, but whatever. We're not
weird.
that old. We're not that old. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah,
all
what?
right.
What are you talking about? I'm
No,
I'm
of
still
course.
young as hell. What are you talking about?
Right, right. So go ahead, Iris. Let me get your rating and why.
Um, I would have to give this at least a 9 out of 10 for me.
Mm, that's funny. That's
And I
like
would
giving the
say
same
that
thing.
was because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good addition to the movie. Um, I mean, it wasn't a perfect 10 because there were little things that I was like, really? Come on now. But other than that, not just with the writing and the actors and the comedy, but I love how they incorporated, a lot of the um what's the word I'm looking for? Like African traditional like dancing and
Mm.
attire and stuff like just to really see that part of the culture and how beautiful and colorful their clothing can be. It's like amazing. It was gorgeous, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it 100% deserves at least a 9 out of 10.
I feel you. I feel you. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it, and when Jessica and I watched it, she gave it a 9 out of 10. But I wasn't able to go that high, and for a very small reason. For a very small reason, but I still respect it enough to give it an 8 out of 10. But the reason I dropped down to the
Okay.
eight, two reasons. Like I said, one, I I love for jokes to be like reworked, just keep bringing them back. And I felt like there were some opportunities, especially with the baby mama, where moments could have been funnier or jokes could have been brought back or things of that nature. You know, I'm sitting there thinking to myself. And then number two, even though I really enjoyed the movie and it kept making me laugh and it kept paying a homage to the original, um, I wasn't really too impressed with the son and his comedic capabilities. Like his acting was fine, but for some reason
Hmm.
they just didn't write him funny to me. I don't know if maybe they wanted us to really feel him in that
He
situation.
had a little,
Yeah,
he had a little sprinkle, you know, a little, he
a
put in a little
little,
bit of seasoning
little
there. He threw a
dabble in
little bit
there.
of
Yeah,
sauce,
but
you
I
know.
just I
Yeah.
wanted him to be. I wanted him to make me feel like he could carry the movie. Like he wouldn't need if he had his own comedy, he wouldn't need all these elements around him that already have
Mhm.
history that's making me laugh. I wanted him to be like a new addition, like, hey, but his son is just as funny as he is. But I didn't get that from it. But it was cool. It didn't hurt the story. I mean, it hurt my rating, but it
Mhm.
didn't make me dislike the movie. It was just like, man, I just wish he was funny. Everybody
Yeah.
else around him was funny, but I wish he was funnier. So for me, I had to give
Right.
it an 8 out of 10. What you about?
So I think his most funniest part was when he mentioned, like I had mentioned before, like, oh, when they make sequels that we didn't even ask for. I thought
That
that was like,
that
okay,
was
you're
funny.
good, you're done.
And the moment where he asked his
You're
mom's
done.
permission to be with the bathers, he was like, "Y'all can't bathe me," and he was like, "All three of you naked." You know,
Okay.
like he wanted to make sure he understood what was about to happen.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute. He's like,
He
wait,
was like,
wait.
"Ask
I
his
don't need no
mom, mama."
hashtag me too. So I need
Right.
to make sure.
So I was
Yeah.
like, "What?
Like
What's
I got
happening here?"
I could go ask my mom, but that shit was funny when that man rose up from the
Oh
water.
yeah,
He was like,
your royal parts
I was
queen.
like, I was like, this dirty
Yeah,
bitch.
and then she was like, "You know
Look
what?
at her.
Just check it again. Just make sure.
Just
One more
double
time."
check, just to be sure.
He was like, "Okay."
And she was just,
Just
mm-hmm,
enjoying
just enjoying it.
it.
Like,
I'm telling you, like,
so you still a hoe.
but
So
she
you
don't care.
still a
She
hoe.
don't. She don't care.
Yep.
And
Yep.
but like, for me, I feel like everything around him, other than those two scenes, were really funny, and I wanted him to be funnier. That's why I give it an 8. So if we combine ours, the average is 8.5, and we don't do point fives in movie
Mhm.
lingo, so 9 it
It's a
is.
9. Whoop, whoop.
9 movie lingo rating. That's awesome. And then
Mhm.
hopefully I'm really hoping like I'm probably gonna end up watching it again just to see if there's anything else. But I'm really hoping that some content comes out soon that we can see behind the scenes or outtakes,
Yeah.
extras.
Well, at the ending credits, I know they at the very end, like the credits,
Yeah,
they showed like
I
a
saw a few of them
few.
through the credits, so I didn't watch all the credits.
You know what's one thing we didn't mention though? That witch doctor.
Wait, was that Eddie Murphy or was
Yeah,
that Arsenio Hall? Because I couldn't tell. Let me look it up now.
that I couldn't tell neither. I wasn't even sure. I was like, is that Eddie
Because
or is
I
that
couldn't tell which one
Arsenio?
of them it was because they both get into makeup and play characters, and I thought it was Arsenio Hall.
Yeah,
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
it's like usually I could tell by the shape of the face because Arsenio's face is kind of elongated, but I couldn't tell. I was like, who's
Was
playing
it
that part?
was that Baba? Yeah, that was Arsenio Hall.
That was Arsenio?
That
Oh
was
Lord.
Arsenio. That was a crazy
Yeah.
character. That circumcision scene scared the hell
Follow
out of
the
me too.
Thunderbird. Like, I know, I was like, ew. And he's like, who auntie is this? Like, and I couldn't even tell. Was he supposed to be playing an old woman or an old man?
I honestly, I don't, I don't
I
know.
That threw me off. I was like, I have no idea who you are. Like,
Yeah, he came out of nowhere, but I mean, an opportunity for them to get him makeup again was fun, and then
I guess,
he had to be the one that saw the vision of the bastard son, as they like to call it.
which is ridiculous because if Arsenio already knew, I felt like that character was kind of random.
He was
I feel
random. You're
like
right, actually.
I don't really feel like it was necessary because if Arsenio already knew what was up, then it would have been just something he kept private between him and the king. And then throughout the years, he kept tabs on this woman.
Well, excuse me, sorry. Well, what Arsenio admitted to knowing is that it was a possibility because of that one night. He didn't actually know that a baby came from it. Like basically, when Eddie Murphy was like, "That's not possible. Never been with anybody from a wife." Then Arsenio was like, "Well, actually, that's not true." He just remembered the night.
Yeah.
He didn't actually know a baby came from it. So I guess they needed something to push
Okay.
it.
So it wasn't
Until
which is
Baba came
BS
through.
because all they had to see, and I feel like they should have just wrote that one part as, um, like anyone would keep track of, the royalty secret affairs,
So you think Arsenio should have brought up like, "Hey, this is a possibility."
Yeah, this is a possibility. Women that you have lain with, I've kept track of just in case any illegitimate children came from it. You're the royal advisor.
Right.
You're supposed to know
all this dirt,
everything, all the dirt.
Yeah, that
exactly.
Makes sense.
So keep tabs on whoever I've done fucked. Okay. And he should have already had a file to drop. This is the woman. This is where she lives. This is all the detail that our security team has keep track of. Like your royalty. I think that would have made more sense to me in that spot.
More makeup, I guess.
I guess.
But that would have made more sense because that's his life. That's his life's mission is to assist him in every way, and that means knowing all his dirt and managing all his problems. Trying to step in, take a bullet for him, whatever. Yeah, you're right. That's why your rating should be an 8.
Exactly.
But anyway.
I mean, yeah.
We can keep it with.
We're gonna keep it at our 9.
We're gonna keep it at our 9. All right. So you got anything else you want to throw at this?
No, I think I'm all good. I think, people just need to go out there. You need to watch the movie. You need to watch the first one.
You have to refresh your memory.
And then watch the second one.
Refresh your memory.
Exactly. To really appreciate what number 2 brought to us.
There was a lot of jokes in reference to the first one.
Yeah, there was. And I have to give it the respect that it deserves because it was good. I really liked it. So.
All right. Well, yes, I agree. Go watch the first one if you haven't. And even if you think you've seen it enough times, watch it again, refresh your memory. I didn't, but that's because I literally seen it so many times. I know word for word almost every scene. Exactly. Every time they had a flashback, I was saying the dialogue with it. And then Jessica was looking at it. I was like, I told you, I know this movie. You know what I mean? So if you're not on that level where you can literally quote the dialogue as it's coming or right before the lines, then you need to go back and refresh your memory and then watch the second one. And I guarantee you, then a lot of those jokes that you were thinking, you'll get them. And they'll come to you.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to thank you, Iris, for joining me for another Movie Lingo discussion on Coming to America. We give it official Movie Lingo rating of 9 out of 10. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the other guys with us and dealing with some stuff, but shout out to them, and we look forward to hopefully having them on our WandaVision discussion, which will be coming soon, hopefully in the next couple of days. All right. So again, thank you for joining us for another Movie Lingo discussion. I'm Eddie Lingo, and we have the beautiful Iris, and we'll see you on the next one.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda?
I'm back.